back, everybody, to another episode of the Offsides Podcast, the official podcast of Charlotte Football Club. I am your host, Andres Robledo, and I'm joined, as I always am, by my co-host, Pablo Robledo. Pablo, how's it going?
Oh yeah. We're back, baby.
It's party time, party boys,
It's playoff time.
podcast. I'm
We're the
man.
podcast boys. We're the podcast boys.
You say playoff time, and
I think I
uh,
jinx it.
I'm back on the wagon. I've relapsed. I'm a playoff believer
Yes.
again.
He's a believer.
I spent like 45 minutes doing the math the other day, just looking at like
Oh, good.
who we had to play, who the other teams had to play, like who I was like, oh man, there's a universe that could be out there, and hopefully we're living in it. I
You're the
believe.
kid. You're the kid in class that works it out and gets the answer right. And I just guessed and I got the answer right.
I'm like
Playoff time.
I'm like Doctor Strange in Infinity War. I've looked at 14 million universes, and we only make it in one. So hopefully we get there. But
Oh.
it's crazy how much one game can do that to you, huh? Especially after a second half performance like that.
Yeah.
We
Didn't
will,
even think it was going to happen.
Yeah, no, I was in the exact same boat. I was having a terrible Saturday night watching that game until the last half. Really, just the last like 30 minutes of the last half. And I mean, we'll get to it, but gosh, what a banger of a game.
I would say probably one of the best ones they've had all season, though.
Yeah, I saw
I
someone
mean,
else say that online, and it did get me thinking about it. I was like, where would I rate this game, um, in importance, or just in terms of like how it made me feel? And
mm-hmm.
I would say like the New York game had similar, like the New York FC game when we went up to New York and played them. Like that was kind of a similar thing of just zero expectations and pulling a win out of nowhere, especially after losing 5-0 to LA. You kind of it also felt like there was no hope. But yeah, I have to agree. Like this was definitely one of the best games I've seen so far from Charlotte.
Top 5?
Oh yeah, easily top 5, probably top 3,
Easily.
honestly.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. What
Uh,
would probably be your number one right now?
um, Honestly, I think probably that game against the Red Bulls at home, just
Yeah, the
because.
ones right after the firing
Yeah, just
of Miguel.
yeah, just because of all the context that it came with of like
Yeah,
first game after Miguel gets fired, we lost to them, pretty abysmally in the
in
Open
the Open
Cup.
Cup.
They
Yeah.
were a super tough team. And just to like, beat them 2-0 and just kind of like shut them out and stuff, like that was huge. And the way like we looked so much better that home game than we had like any other game right away, like just from the changes Latanzio was making. So I thought it was like that's a big one for me. And then I think the second one would have to be uh, probably the New York City FC, like probably both of them like together. Just that whole like series of just beating them twice, home and away. Like the history that
Mm-hmm.
made, like the importance of it. Like those were, I mean, really, those were 6 points that like I was not expecting us to get. So that was huge. And then I think it's probably this game against Chicago, and then probably the LA Galaxy game. Those would probably be like my top 4 Charlotte FC games so far.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that Galaxy game because I felt like um, I didn't have very high expectations going into that game, having just lost to DC United like 3-0.
Yeah,
But they really surprised me.
yeah, and it spawned this podcast.
Yeah. Um, but which game is the one where we even won a game 4-0? I can't even remember it.
We beat Nashville 4-1, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it was a shutout. I think it was 4-1.
It's a shutout in my mind. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. But
But
anyways,
no, yeah.
let's jump into the episode. Do you have any news for us? You are
Uh,
our sports
yeah,
reporter.
yeah, the best sports reporter. Nothing too crazy. I'm sure everybody saw the bits of news where Soderski was named as one of the Team of the Week players. Um, what else was it? And I think also Player of the Week,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. First Charlotte FC player to be player of the week.
Yeah, yeah. A little surprised that uh, Coach uh, Christian Latanzio was not play Coach of the Week after that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, but in somewhat related Charlotte matter, we had our own Brian Romero. He's been selected as one of the U.S. men's U17 um, members to go play in this international tournament that's going to be starting in the Czech Republic. It actually started a couple days ago. It goes from September 16th to I think September 26th, or I forget the dates, but pretty cool that he got selected amongst all those youngsters out there from Charlotte. There's a bunch of guys from LA, a bunch of guys from the Barcelona club team, um, Philly, San Jose, and then we got our own Brian out there. So, way to represent. Shout out to Brian.
Yeah, that's
That's all I
awesome.
got.
That's got to be huge for him. I can't imagine that feeling of
Yeah, I would
going
think so.
playing internationally.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. Check out
Yeah,
the competition.
it's funny because he's only like 16, super young. But I saw this weekend that Arsenal put in like a 15 and a half year old, so he became the youngest Premier League
Jeez.
player ever. And like something that was going around Twitter was like, what were you doing at 15? I was like, man, I don't even know, but definitely not playing near to that level, obviously. Like that's just crazy that a 15-year-old could be that good to, play in the Premier League. And same with Brian. You can be that good where you're literally one of the best, 17-year-olds in the country and going up against some of the best in the world. Like that is just crazy level of talent.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Excited to hopefully
You're right.
maybe see him with the first team next year.
Yeah, I'm hopefully that he does get some more minutes in there. Um, but he's still got time to develop. You don't want to rush it.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Don't want to rush it. But that's all I got as far as Charlotte news.
Nice, nice. The only thing I have to add is that it is confirmed that Nuno Santos does in fact shop at Target. I got to run into him over the weekend, literally on Sunday after he just played an incredible game against Chicago. He's just in there, casually shopping, like I think it was his mom. Uh, so it's cool to
His
run into
mom,
him. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and it's cool to
Mama
run into him
Santos.
and get a photo. Super nice guy, super humble. No,
Who
very.
took the picture? His mom?
No, Jennifer took it.
Oh,
It was funny though, because like I walked past him, and I just go to Jennifer. I'm like we were walking to the back of Target, and they were walking the other way, and we were like walking to the back to go grab something, and I was like, wait, stop here, stop here, stop here. And I like pull over the cart and I grab my phone out and I like because I was like that looked just like Santos, but I'm gonna check the tattoos to make sure it's him. And so I found
oh,
a
creeper
photo
mode.
online.
Nice.
Yeah, I did. But I saw it. I was like, oh my God, that was him. I'm going to go ask for a photo. And so we went back and got the photo. And it was super cool. Super cool guy. Hopefully he has another great game this weekend.
Yeah, I saw he left a little comment on the picture and everything. So kind of real down to earth guy. Very humble. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, he was. Very nice, very quiet. Yeah, like you said, just you could tell he's just a very humble guy. and shops at the local Target. So Target seems to be the
Dude, so
place to run into players.
that's 3 players you've seen out in the wild.
Yeah,
Fuchs, Santos, and Brian.
yeah, yeah. I got the whole age gauntlet. Got the old guys, the super young guys, and then the hitting their prime.
Yeah,
I know. I
could be
keep
like a scout.
yeah, I keep going into the office just to see if maybe I'll run into Fuchs again, but no luck so far.
He was just closing down his Wells Fargo's accounts that somebody opened up.
We don't talk about that. Oh, awesome. Well, let's jump right into the most exciting part of the weekend, the game against Chicago. Some things going into the into this match that I kind of forgot about was after Chicago beat us, they released a lot of like clips and stuff of like team talk in the locker room, like a little celebration video after they beat us that had like Swiderski was just sitting on the ground with his head in his knees and other players kind of moping
Mm-hmm.
around and like being very like taunting of the win, which
Yeah,
is all stuff I'd kind of forgotten about going into this game. But
because
uh,
they beat us at home, right?
yeah, yeah, in a
Yeah,
similar
yeah,
fashion. uh,
yeah. A better
um,
fashion.
yeah, but man, it was good to get that revenge game. That was I think Chicago has the potential of becoming a rival. I think right now, really, it's more like Atlanta and the two New York teams. Those feel more like big rivalries, just with the physicality of the games. But I think with like that kind of social media stuff, like I could definitely see it becoming more of a rivalry if that kind of stuff keeps up. Because man, the whoever runs the Twitter page for Charlotte, they had a field day of just roasting Chicago after we won.
What
They had
does
some
they
good
say?
stuff.
The revenge is dis best served cold, something
Yeah,
like that.
best
Deep
served on
dish.
Twitter.
Yeah, Chicago style.
They had a lot of. They had obviously the an extinguisher replaced as like their logo, saying fires out. They put they had someone like photoshopped the stadium with like all those like spirit Halloween posters everywhere, where you see like
Oh, nice.
abandoned
Yeah,
malls always get turned into those. Just some good
yeah.
stuff like that.
Mm.
And it felt good to
One
knock a
thing I
team out of playoffs before playoffs even started.
I was just gonna mention that I was like it was a crucial game for Chicago. I mean, still for us, but I think we still had a slight chance. Had well, not either way, we still had some sort of fighting chance had we not won that game. But Chicago was definitely a must win. Um, so yeah, surprised that the team kind of stepped up how they did. Glad they did,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just cool to like knock a team out, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically a playoff game for them, and at their own home
Yeah,
stadium, we just knocked them out. Let's talk
yeah,
about it
and
though. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish that thought.
oh, and I was just gonna mention I also heard a good bit of like Charlotte fans when I was watching the game. I was like,
Yes,
I was like, man, are they saying Charlotte? I was
they
like, it
were.
sounds like they're saying Charlotte. I was like, no way. And but yeah, I saw the pictures afterwards. I was like, man, that was awesome to have those supporters out there.
Yeah, it
Because
was
I
like
definitely heard it on TV.
yeah, it was noticeably like audible on TV. You could clearly hear it, and maybe not clearly, but you could tell they were saying Charlotte. Like if you just kind of listened, like it was crazy. I was not
Yeah,
expecting that either.
yeah,
But it
you
was
could hear
great
the
to
"Let's
see.
go Charlotte."
Yeah,
Because I was like, because I was trying to run it in my head. I'm like, maybe they're saying "Let's go Chicago," but I'm like, no, it doesn't even sound like that. I was
too
like,
many
there's definitely,
syllables.
yeah. I was like, maybe they're sitting right beside the mics. Who knows?
Maybe, but that was cool to
But
see
no, that was
or
awesome.
to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like let's jump into the match.
Yeah. So let's do, starting lineup. I think it was pretty much the same lineup as the week before, except I think Nathaniel
Shinsky.
Bryan is starting and Shinsky is starting. What did
Yeah.
you think of those changes? And Harris, obviously, Fuchs is out because of the red card, so we got Awful starting on Fuchs' side instead of Mora, which is kind of interesting. But what do you think of the
Yeah,
changes to the starting lineup?
I was okay with the Mora not starting on that side just because Awful has seemed to be a solid player all around. Um, and Brian, he seems to be, that's his position from what he's been listed at in the highlights we've seen. Um, so I definitely wanted just to see what he was all about. Um, I was fine with Shinshinsky on that left side, and even seeing Rios starting, I was not 100% okay with it, but I was just like, he's done all right. He's scored once or twice already and
Yeah, he
helped out
scored
the
the
team a
game
bit.
winner the last week. I wasn't surprised to see him starting since he scored the only goal last week.
Yeah, no, I wasn't surprised to see him started. I was a bit worried, but I'm like maybe he's finally getting into like good form. Um,
Yeah,
but
and he had a pretty decent game. I wasn't too
oh
unhappy
yeah, no,
with
me
his
either. I thought he
performance.
had a yeah, even though he didn't score, I thought he had a great game. He helped out the offense. He kind of instead of being selfish, he knocked off that one pass early on where Soderski had the chance to equalize. Um, but that was all through Rios, even pressuring the off a defense when they had the ball. Um, totally different side of Rios that I haven't seen all season,
Yeah,
like all season.
he set Bronico up for a good shot, and we got to talk
Yep.
about this where the goalie saves it and it bounces right to Swiderski to an open net. I mean, and he just totally
Yeah. Just
kind of whiffs it and hits it right to the goalie. I knew we were in for a
yeah.
rough night after that.
It was it was very suspenseful the whole game. Yeah.
Yeah,
And especially after that first goal coming so early, and kind of like a little flop shot, like not a lot of power, just rolls along the floor to that bottom right corner. Not a lot of pressure from our defense on the guy. Like he's at the top of the box, and I
yeah.
don't see anybody running towards him. More just like standing still, reacting, or I mean, he's all by himself. The only one I saw running towards him was like Soderski, but um, he's the one that like bounced it out to him. So of course he's got to run out there. But besides that, like everybody else was either covering somebody or just reacting to the shot, and I was surprised that even went in. Um, just as how slow moving it was. Kalina just kind of watched it go in.
And just for it to not like hit or deflect off anyone either. It's kind of what are the odds of that? So I mean, literally
Yeah,
like everyone's behind that ball basically.
yeah, you're right. And then like you said, not too long after that, we had the Bronico. Um, Rios gives it up to Bronico. Bronico sends it in, and Soderski, just of all places to put it, puts it right at the keeper.
Yeah,
But when they scored that first goal, I wasn't too worried. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't get too worried when it's like early goals. Um, but then the second one, I was like, yikes.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's usually like whenever like a team is making a lot of chances but like not scoring. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's usually when I'll get worried because I feel like you can tell pretty quickly if like it's gonna be their game or not. And so when he missed that chance, I was like, oh no, this might be one of those like games where like we have 10 shots on goal, they only have one, and they beat us like 1-0. I was like, it could easily be one of those games. Like they're like freak games, but they just happen. You can just kind of tell like players just miss easy shots or stuff will hit the post or get deflected and you're like, dude, they can't score a goal. um
Yeah. We'll have
and the
10 shots and they have two, and they both of them that they have go in and
it,
ours don't. I know what
exactly,
you mean.
yeah, yeah. I was worried it was
Yeah.
going to turn into
Yeah.
that kind of game, and this first half definitely felt like that. I mean,
And
you,
we've had those type of games. I think when we lost to Austin, we had a lot of shots on
yeah,
goal,
exactly.
and they had very little.
Yeah, that
And yeah, that was a tough one to watch.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. And it just felt like the whole first half, I just didn't feel like we were playing like that well. Like I felt the defense was a little unorganized. Didn't really feel like we were creating anything either. I don't know. It just didn't feel like a good half for us. Like I just felt like we were never really like penetrating them or just setting up anything like any good chances. Like just no scoring opportunities. Um, and then we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
quickly
The
gave them
first
a second
half
goal.
was rough. Yeah, well, that second goal was pretty nice. I hate to say it. A lot of
Hey,
power behind that shot.
the young Colombian kid, so can't be too mad.
Colombia.
Cannot be
No,
too
yeah.
mad about it.
That dude's tall for being like he's like 18 or something.
Yeah, he's really young. Like, yeah, I think 18. It was funny because
That guy's
when we were watching the game, and they had said that that guy was Colombian, and then he scores that goal, and I was like, "Yep, he's definitely South American. No way you pass that ball to the open guy. Definitely go for the shot."
you gotta
Because
go for it.
he had the other guy like wide open and would have been an easy play, but it's like, nah, just shoot it.
You know,
Oh,
Colombians, we don't
yeah,
like to do things easy.
yeah.
Gotta make it hard.
But no, it's obviously we're a little bit biased because we're Colombian, but that guy was exciting to watch. He seems like the kind of guy that must be super frustrating to play against because he was like really physical. Like obviously he had
Mm-hmm.
the like kind of mini fight with Bronico where he just like totally pulled on his jersey, and then
Yeah,
Bronico slide tackles him. In the second
that
half
was
I think it
sick.
was, but yeah, yeah, it was sick. But it was just like, man, he just looks like that guy that must be so frustrating to watch. Like just probably messes
Yeah,
with you all game, uh, in just little ways, like little cheap fouls or little things that he probably gets away with a lot of stuff like that.
yeah,
So
yeah. Whenever the ref's not looking, it's giving you those nudges and
yeah,
probably stepping on your toes or something.
yeah, yeah.
Typical Colombian behavior.
But man, I'm excited about. Obviously, we're getting off topic already, but excited about Colombia's future. And we're not in the World Cup this year, but we've got Vargas, that
Just
guy
gonna say,
now. Yeah, 2026 might be our year. Got a lot of young talent,
golly,
a lot of
yeah,
Colombian
it's
young talent in the MLS.
Luis Diaz might not even be playing by then.
He'll be like 27. He won't be that old.
James Rodriguez, I don't think will be in the squad by then.
Nah, I don't even think he's in the squad now.
He's barely in it. They're in some sort of tournament now. Something. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, Cuadrado will be out.
Yeah, man, that was
It'll
what a
be a new
roster.
squad.
Yeah, I know there's not
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
like no fans that care about this, but for us, that was like a golden age for a little bit. They had a lot of potential,
yeah, because I think they made it pretty far in that 2014
and they
World
were
Cup.
all young too. So it was like, oh man, we've got some
Yeah,
time. And then,
yeah, because when they went to play in Russia, I expected more, and I was like,
yeah,
womp womp womp,
yeah,
nothing.
they're all like, we made so much money. They all got like big
Yeah,
contracts after that, like all of them pretty much.
yeah, yeah. After that, James went to Real Madrid. I think Cuadrado was already
He went to
in
like Juventus. He went to Chelsea at
Juventus.
one point.
Yeah, you're right.
That didn't work out
Yeah,
though.
nah.
That doesn't for many people that go to Chelsea. More likely to not work out than to work out, unfortunately. But anyways, let's get back on
But
topic.
yeah,
So yes,
what do we
second
leave off?
half. Yeah, second half. I mean, after that second goal, there's not a whole lot that I can think of. I don't remember when like the scuffle between Bronico and the Colombian guy was, if that was in the first half or not, but that was sick.
With Bronico and the Colombia guy.
Yeah, that was straight up a good
Um,
time.
I want to say that was in the first half,
I
and
think so
Bronico
too.
got a yellow out of that. I
Yeah.
think both those guys got a yellow out of it.
I can't
Um,
believe he only got a yellow though. That Bronico only got a yellow
uh,
because like he just
I mean, it
like
was
straight up shoved him after he tackled him. Like the play was already dead.
yeah, like he took his legs out basically,
Yeah,
from what
I
I
felt like
remember.
that would have been enough. Like
Yeah,
I don't think the shove was needed. Or if you want like more after, just wait until like the next
but
play and do something.
I think yeah, Bronico,
Well, he's
he's kind of a
fiery.
hothead.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Hopefully that
definitely
does,
fiery.
does not cost him.
Well, right, and getting into that, do they still hold the same rules where like you pick up two yellows in a row and you're out
I have
on
no
the?
clue
I don't either.
because I know
That's how
also
it
it's
used to
like
be, though, right?
I'm not sure. I know
Or
that
maybe not.
like I know in the Champions League and I think same for like La Liga, if you get like 5 yellow cards, it equates to like 1 red card. And then you're
Mm,
out.
okay,
So, but
so
he has
it's
to
more than two.
yeah, he has to have more than 5 at this point. He gets one like every other game.
Yeah, he got one last game.
Got one the game before, I'm pretty sure.
Did he? I don't think he
Uh
did.
I don't know. He gets a lot of yellows.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully those yellows don't come back to hurt him. But it's so close to the end, somewhat, unless we make playoffs. They got to be careful with those yellows now. It's
Yeah. Or you
we
can
got a lot to lose.
do the Marino tactic where you purposely get a red card so it resets
Oh yeah,
in a
you could
game
do
that
that.
doesn't matter.
Well, right now all
Oh
games
yeah,
matter.
unfortunately all the games matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Um
can't do that.
yeah. One thing also I
Um,
wanted to note, Derek Jones almost I was gonna say not much happened in
the
the
header.
second half, but yeah, his header hit the post, like that was a really
Yeah,
good effort. Good
unlucky.
great
Oh yeah,
great corner kick by Vargas. Man, we're starting to improve on corner
yeah.
kicks now that he's starting to take them.
I saw that he's kind of like our set piece guy as well. He as far as long free kicks, he seems to be the one taking them.
Shoot, I mean, why
But
not? Nothing else has been working, and I feel like his have been good.
yeah,
Um,
and I was gonna say since we kind of got into Jones a little bit with that header he had, I felt like Jones had a much better game this one than he has in the last two. He moved. He just seemed to move a lot, um, get more involved in the attack, and then hustling back on defense. I just saw his presence more in that midfield than I have in than other games. Um, Even just like quick passing, because I felt like before his passes were slow and his movement was slow, but not this game. I feel like he was very quick to react and get things going.
yeah, I agree. I feel like him and Vargas like all have improved over like getting more playing time now. Like I feel like each week they've
Yeah,
just looked better and better. And this game was like a very noticeable difference. And there was a lot of people online that mentioned the same thing. Like, man, Vargas looks good. Man, Jones looks good. Like, a lot of people are noticing that as well. That like these guys do like a lot better this week
yeah.
than in recently.
And I don't know why it takes him so long to like start to get in a good form. Like, um, the first game that Jones got put in and Vargas, like, man, they went in there like on fire,
Yeah,
and we both called it like these guys are good, like they need to get more minutes, and then they get given more chances, and it's like they just don't perform as well. We saw Vargas was not as aggressive. Um, Jones seemed to me slow, but this game, Vargas was taking guys on and shooting, and same for Jones, getting involved with the attack and helping out big time in the middle. And that's kind of what we saw at the beginning of their Charlotte career. So I don't know what happens.
yeah. I think maybe for Vargas, for me, it seemed kind of like a confidence issue. Um, I feel like once he
Maybe.
did get that first start back, he didn't look quite as confident. And I don't know if you remember, like when we signed him and he did that interview with the Top End 90, like he was like, I want us to win a championship this year. Like that's my goal for this year. Like he was very confident, and you could see that in his style of play. Like when he got on, he turned and took players on. He shot from far, like played with a lot of aggressiveness and speed. And I think maybe he was like a little bit worried about being more tactful and maybe not making mistakes as often once he did get more playing time and probably more time
Mm-hmm.
under Latanzio, that maybe it kind of killed a little bit of his confidence to just play more aggressively or play more forward. And maybe Latanzio's bringing that back into him, like, no, I trust you to do that stuff also. That's why I'm giving you these starts. And I think it's starting to pay off. And same for Jones. Like I think he's just getting more experience. Like he's only, I think, 23, 24. Like he's very young, so I think
That's
he's
good.
just learning the position more, like just getting used to the speed of the game. Because you got to remember, like when we signed him from the Dynamo, it's not like he was getting a lot of playing time there either, right? He was like a second or third choice center mid there, and now he's starting to kind of step into that role of being the more like first choice, defensive center mid. So I think he's just improving just from experience. So it's good to see. It makes me excited about next year, before this year even finishes.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then also, you want to. I think we had you want to cover that goal that got called back. That was in the first half as well, right?
I think that was right at the start of the second half.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It was on around the 49th minute.
Yeah. Um, this is what really made me like Rios's play, though. I mean, that doesn't really happen without him. Unfortunately, that
True.
doesn't count, right? But his hold up play there, and just to be able to keep the play alive and keep us on Chicago's side of the field was great. I mean, he did a great job holding that ball up. You know,
Yeah.
almost
Vargas
loses
running in to
it,
get the
wins it
ball.
back. Yeah, yeah. Uh, you know,
What
but
did you
then,
think? Before we get into all that, real quick, what did you think of Rios trying to outmaneuver that defender?
oh
He
man.
kind of looked like me out there a little bit.
Yeah, I was just like,
I was like, nah, Rios, don't even try it.
that's how I was like, man,
Uh,
just pass it. Like you aren't that
yeah.
guy. Like
No. Yeah.
I was just because I feel like we get,
He looked real heavy-footed there, trying to do that step over.
yeah. I just feel like it's a big like issue with our team all season has been like we can get to the opposition goal, but then when we're like
Mm-hmm.
20 yards out, we just have like no idea what to do. And this felt like that, where he was like, he should be like passing it or just keep the ball moving, and he's just like, I'm just gonna 1v1 this guy at a terrible angle. Oh, I lost it right away. Like,
Yep.
thankfully he wins it back, and it's like, oh, there's a second guy. Like, crap. Like, yeah, but thankfully he wins it
Yeah.
back and does eventually make the smart play in passing it. But I thought it was gonna be
Yeah. He
one of those
digs
moments where
himself
we
out of
just,
trouble there.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be one of those moments where we just like throw away a good opportunity. But thankfully
Right.
it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Which we've done a lot of.
Yeah,
Um, but then, man, what a it seemed like one of those real technical, um, just I felt like that goal should have counted some sort of
absolutely,
like back end deal. But you and I talked about this previously. I feel like if the Charlotte players hadn't been around that VAR screen so much and just yip 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 in the referee's ear after she told them like get back so many times, and then she called it back. Like I almost feel like she did that out of spite. I'm like, you guys want to be that way, so I'm just gonna play it by the book and call it back. I feel like she was real close to just letting it slide, but
yeah.
no, like those guys just kept yapping on and
And
wouldn't
Tsurushi
listen to her.
gets a yellow out
And
of
then
it.
yeah, exactly. He gets a yellow out of it after it gets
Imagine
called
if he would have
back.
got the red,
Oh, I mean that's I don't know if it's a red card.
just harassing the ref.
I don't know. I mean, look,
I mean,
this
she
ref
could
gets
do it.
harassed for anything. I guess
Yeah,
so.
like she could have done it. Like, I mean,
She better
because I
not.
guess you can technically give a red for anything, right?
I think it's gonna be like a goal. If you're like deny a goal scoring opportunity. We should give
Mm,
the ref a red. She denied the goal.
yeah. No, I
All right, we'll
agree.
start the
And
petition.
even when I was like watching the game live, I was telling Jennifer, I was like, man, if I was that ref, I would just say no goal. I wouldn't even look at the like. I would just look at Swiderski straight in the eyes and be like, yeah, nah, no goal. Like, you didn't even review it. Nah, no goal.
Yeah,
Because it's just
yeah.
being
I
annoying.
feel like they brought that on themselves.
Yeah. The one thing that did like made me lose my mind was the Chicago announcers. Like, they were like, "Oh, that's clear as day." Like, if
Oh
you,
yeah,
because they were saying like that
he was
Bronico
so
fouled
light.
the guy, and I was like,
Yeah,
dude, if anything, that guy fouls Bronico. Like, it's a 50-50 ball, and he's
exactly.
getting there late. And they were like, "That's a foul in the middle of the field. Like, you got to call it in the box." I was like, that's a foul the other way in the middle of the field. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do
No,
feel like
I
if you
agree
took
with you.
that play and took it to the middle of the field, like, it would be a foul in Chicago. I don't think it would have been a foul on Charlotte if that goes the other way.
Yeah, the way the guy kind of fell. I mean, he's diving. But the way they like kind of clashed and how he fell was not at all how like Bronico was running at him.
No, yeah,
They both
Bronico had him
just like
beat.
yeah, they both just kind of bounced each other. Um, and again, I think like Charlotte just kind of hate to say it, but they brought that one on themselves. Because I thought it was just gonna go I thought that was gonna be a 2-1 right there.
Yeah, I thought so
But
too.
when
It
it
was a
got called
great
back, I
goal
thought,
too.
oh yeah, yeah, no, great
Possibly a
goal.
goal of the season.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
But I thought the game was over after that. I thought morale was gonna go down. I thought Swiderski was just gonna throw his hissy fits the rest of the game and not try. Um,
We were on so many yellows too. Like, Bronico had a yellow, Swiderski had a yellow.
yeah,
I think
Jones might have had a yellow.
Yeah, Jones picks up a yellow shortly after. Like, I was like, oh man, if we go down to 10 men, like 2-0 is not
Yeah,
gonna be good. Yeah,
yeah.
I was getting frustrated watching the game up until that point.
But no, Charlotte kept fighting. I mean, they kept going. Vargas kept attacking. He had that 1-2 step over where that was a tight ankle. Again,
Yeah.
selfish Colombian playing, but that's how we roll.
Yeah. Got always take the shot. Hey, got a corner out of it. And the
Take the shot.
corner leads to a goal, I believe, right? Yeah, the corner led to a goal,
Yeah.
so good play, good play.
They're like, come do this goal kick. All right, that's a long way to the goal, but I'll try it.
But man, we finally score off a corner kick. We're like 2 for 1,000.
Yeah,
We've got the
we're
Adam Armour
batting.
one and now the Sojerski one.
That technically a corner still though.
Yeah, I counted as scoring from a corner.
I guess
Yeah, and then
there's a lot of rebounding.
there's like 2 rebounds. It counts.
Yeah.
And then we got to give props to Latanzio. He's been criticized a ton this season for like late substitutions or just putting in the wrong
Mm-hmm.
guys. Putting in a defender when he should put an attacker. And at the 68th minute, he puts on Santos, and I think he puts someone else on, right? I'm just going to pull up SofaScore
He
real
he took off
quick.
Bronico,
Yeah, because he's on a
right?
yellow. I think that makes sense.
Right.
And he,
No, yeah. I mean, I was surprised because Bronico starts every game and plays full 90,
yeah,
and I was surprised that it took him off. But I was like, that's smart. I mean, I can see what he's doing. He wants to get the win.
yeah. It's like, oh, even actually, we kind of missed it. Even before then, he takes out Bronico for Alcivar, which was interesting.
Right.
Just because we
Yeah.
haven't seen Alcivar in so long. And he takes out Shinashinsky for Gaines, which I think
Mm-hmm.
was a brilliant move as well. That was
Yeah.
super early, 61st minute. Like, I don't think we've seen him substitute that early before. So 61st minute puts him in. And then in the 70th minute, we see Nuno Santos come on. And then the 77th minute, we see Jordi Reyna come on. So, just
All
four
great subs.
offensive
All attacking.
substitutes. Yeah, like, you could tell he
Yeah.
was trying to leave here with a win. And he does it early too. He doesn't do it like in the 80th minute or anything like that. Like, went
No,
for it
yeah.
early.
Yeah. You think it was because of the goal scoring opportunity that was denied? Like he was like, okay, we put one in, but like we need to keep momentum going.
Yeah, I think
Like,
so. I think
what do
he
you think was his
saw.
motive for it?
I think he saw we were like the better team in that second half. Like we were making chances, but we
Oh,
just
for
didn't have.
sure.
We just didn't have like a goal scorer out there. And I think you put Mackenzie Gaines on.
Yeah.
He's someone that's going to get you opportunities. He put Reyna on so that he can move Swiderski back up to striker. I think that makes sense. He put Santos on to kind of take the playmaker role over Swiderski. Alcivar should help with that. Like
Yeah.
Reyna helps out with making plays. Like you could see Reyna's impact right away. He was dribbling straight
Oh,
at the goalies, like
yeah.
straight down the middle of the field, setting up crosses. Like he had a
Same with
huge impact
Gaines.
right away. Yeah, and then same with Gaines. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and back to what you mentioned as far as like how horrible we are on corners. I have noticed as far as like what's his name, Melanda.
yeah,
The he's won, in 2 games he's won a header, but both, one was blocked and one he hit post on. But it's like, okay, there's some room for improvement there, and he seems to be like the guy that I could see him putting in a couple, um, maybe in the future, or possibly more next season,
yeah. Just
off these set corner pieces.
kind of like John Terry and Vidic back in the day, where like they just
Yeah, well,
always
and
seem to
he's a
score.
tall. Yeah, he's like one of those tall, aerial,
Center backs,
got
yeah.
ace. Yeah, he's gonna win those aerial battles. Nine
He
times
is.
out of 10, just because of his height.
Yeah. So out of what we've seen out of the three new signings so far, he's been like the brightest spot, and for me the most exciting so far, just because of like how good he is and being only 20 years old. Like, man, if we can keep him, like he is going to be really really good. I just worry that a European team will steal him. Maybe not this window, but next window.
Yeah. Um, I think these signings have like are much better than the other ones. Like, who did we get? Well, Vargas was good too. I think
Yeah.
maybe just Yazviak is the one that I'm not 100% on board with.
Yeah. I agree. I think he's been the biggest dud of them all.
Yeah.
Of all the new signings since since the team's been put together. Um, yeah, I mean, I think you could, he didn't play at all that game. He's not a starter, like, or a very inconsistent starter. I think he's had like two really good games lately, but it's not enough, especially for being a DP or being what the second highest paid player or something. Like, just haven't seen enough out of him, but. Hopefully we see improvements in year two. That's all we can hope for.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Um,
Um,
let's.
and then
so
we
we,
got that second goal right after.
yeah, I was gonna say let's talk about the second goal. Uh, I mean, that is something only Mackenzie Gaines can do, get to that ball.
Yeah, in
Because
classic Mackenzie Gaines style,
when
where he waits till like the last minute before the ball rolls out.
when Kalina hits it, I was like, dude, that's no one's gonna get to that. Like he overhit it, and somehow Gaines gets to that ball. It does take like a
Yeah.
weird bounce. Like the second bounce was really weird. It just like stops moving forward after that second bounce, but still, like just to have the speed to get there, and then like was it a one touch pass? I think so, right? Yeah, just one touch cuts it
Um,
back. I mean, what an
I
improvement that he's had this year from, what we saw early in the season where just couldn't cross the ball at all to now he can, run at full speed and one touch cut it across the face of goal. Like, it's ridiculous. That's that's
yeah,
such a good weapon to have in a team.
yeah, he's very quick and agile. Um, that, like you said, great weapon to have, especially in that at that spot, that winger spot.
Yeah. Hits it right footed, like just so good. And then
Gotta love
Santos
it.
with the one touch finish. Love it.
Yeah,
Winning.
and even looking at the replay on Santos, I mean, like they showed that highlight a couple of times. I'm like, man, that thing like it looks like it went off the defender, but it's not just from depending on which angle you look at it. Um,
Nah, I think he
but
beats the
yeah,
guy
I mean,
there.
way to be there.
Yeah. The
And another
Nikes,
thing too, like it's yeah, it's the you gotta get that grip.
he's like the only guy wearing Nikes.
I know. I think they pay you a little more on your contract if you wear Adidas boots.
Not worth it.
No, thank you.
I'll take a
I'm not
pay
gonna
cut.
sell up. Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I mean, great goal, and so early on too. Like it really, I was like, man, we are back in this. Like this is doable. Like, this
yeah,
is so
yeah.
doable. Uh,
And then also, Soderski's right there, right for the rebound. Like way to set up for that
yeah,
for
yeah,
the just in case. He's pretty good at those little cherry picking goals, but
yeah.
that's
That's
why
what
he's
it's
a
all
forward. Like
about. Yeah,
he knows where to be. Um, man, but that's another player that has surprised. I mean, I think they said that he's already scored a goal, and officially he's only played like maybe 30 minutes for the team.
yeah, yeah,
That's a pretty good little stat to have.
yep, yeah. It is. That's definitely a ratio you want to keep. Just a goal every 30 minutes. That's gonna work out well.
Yeah, but what a night and day difference in his performance this game to how he played.
I mean, he
Where was it?
he could have had a second. There was one play. It's not in the highlight package for some reason, but there was one where like he was at the top of the box with like really no one around him, and he could have shot it and instead like passed it to Gaines, and Gaines just wasn't able to like really do anything with it. But it was like you could tell he's like a playmaker more than he is like a finisher, but like he can finish. I think as he develops that,
Yeah,
like he's gonna be nasty.
yeah, and I think that's like one guy that you and I were both excited, probably the most excited out of all of them
Yeah.
that came in. And then I just kind of had a little heartbreak when I saw him play. Um, what game was that? No, not Columbus. Cincinnati.
Yeah.
When he played in Cincinnati, I was just kind of heartbroken in his performance. He had that yellow, and then he had that mistake. Well, I'm more Kalina, but like,
Yeah.
um, they took it from him and scored. I was just kind of expecting a little more.
I was like,
And
oh,
I
is this
thought we had another,
Jaws
yeah,
situation?
Yazviak dud.
But nah, I think he's
Yeah,
gonna come around on the other side of this. I think he's gonna be a big star. I think him and
yeah,
Serdersky are gonna be a deadly combo once they get some time together.
yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. Still trying to figure out what to do with Rios a little bit, like where to put him at. Maybe just keep him as a backup
But yeah, I think put him in the
striker.
80th minute, like to
Yeah,
secure a lead or something. Like
yeah.
I,
Put
I still don't
Swiderski at
see
the
him as
top,
like
and
a game winner. Like I think if you need a goal, I
no,
don't think you
I
put
think you're
him in.
right.
But if you're up, you can put him in and rest Serdersky or something. But I think a front three of like Serdersky, Reyna, Gaines with Santos, Bronico, and Jones behind him, like that's a nice like attack in my eyes. Like that, I think that looks so good.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep Santos in that mix, and I
Keep
think we're
Reyna and
good.
Gaines too, man. I feel like what the team's been missing
Oh,
has been those two
Vargas.
guys. Yeah, Vargas too. It's tough
I've
though. Those wings, man. That wing is
yeah,
tough.
yeah. That's. I mean, it's crazy how we went from like not having good wingers to all of a sudden they're like really developing, and now you have like. I mean, whichever route you go, you can't really go wrong, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, yeah. Because there was the I think confirmed rumors that the club was trying to sell Reyna. I imagine they're probably going to try again in the next off season. Um, so at least we do have Vargas there. I think like that's a good replacement. So you could do like Vargas Swiderski gains, but like that's just a very exciting front three. Like,
Yeah,
man, and I just think the team has been missing that lately. Of just guys that can create chances, and I think Reyna and Gaines have been those guys more so than anyone else. I'm hoping Vargas turns into more of that, like we saw this past game. But you know, the last couple of weeks, it was really Reyna and Gaines, and they kind of stopped seeing playing time for some reason, and I think we struggled to win games, and I think that's why. I really do.
I think you're right. Um, and then it was a pretty hard fought battle. How
Thankfully,
many
a lot
minutes
of
did they get? We
stoppage
got
time.
like, yeah, 7 minutes. I
Yeah,
thought it was gonna end in a tie.
I did too. I just felt
Um,
like we were running out of time, but
just because we've never even had an away win. Well, we've had one win, but not too many away. And then we just never had a comeback. Um, I don't think have we had a comeback win, or is this the first one?
that's a great question. I'm not sure. I think this is the first one,
Yeah, so
but I
very
could be
surprising.
mistaken. Yeah. I mean, again, just like a game where I had no expectations of us winning, mostly because
Yeah,
of the away thing. Like I just kind of, again, anytime it's an away game, we've had. This is our third away win.
is it
Yeah, we had Houston, New York,
Houston?
and now,
Oh right, yeah, New York. Okay,
and now
and now
Chicago.
Chicago,
Yeah,
and then we tied Colorado.
yeah,
Not too bad.
yeah. We need some
Not too
more.
bad for a bunch of country boys.
Honestly, probably need some more ties, but uh,
Yeah,
like we said, 8 minutes of stoppage time, and in that 95th and a half minute, I mean, just what a play. Jones with the,
yeah,
the long shot gets a nice little rebound. Reyna with the great touch to just settle the ball. Plays a great ball into Gaines, who hits the crossbar. Then Swiderski's shot gets blocked, and then he just bamboozles two defenders and just finishes it. It was just like, man, it was just craziness.
yeah. It was a lot of ping pong of that ball.
Yeah,
Must have been hard for that keeper to track.
yeah. But man, that
Man, that
move
was
by
a nice little
Swiderski,
move.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go. It looks so simple yet so uh satisfying.
yeah, it's just such a good little like turn cut
That's
thing.
some good footwork. Like where the defenders come in and you just cut back the other way, and then he's got that powerful left foot. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, he loves that left foot.
it does.
Just
Um, yeah, I think something we've been real critical, and others have been critical about Swiderski is like, he's the DP, and we haven't always got like a DP performance. And one, obviously, he performed very, very well this week, and noticeably by the whole league, right? Team of the week, player of the week. But like, that's the expectation. Like, that performance, like, I feel like is what we need out of him as a DP and DPs going forward. Like,
yeah,
it can't be once a season. It like you got to be doing that like consistently. Um, and I feel like we just need
yeah.
to
But I
see
also
more of
feel
that
like
from him.
but I also think that he hasn't had as much support as like some of these other DPs or just like somebody that's playing the striker position. Because I mean, look, if you go back and look at that highlight, we got like when he's taking that shot, we got like four or five other players right up there to maybe snag the rebound or get the pass off. Whereas before, especially early on in the season, I mean, it was just him in that box.
No, I agree. I just like going forward. I feel like this should be the expectation. Like,
Yeah, 100% agree. Like,
especially next season, if we're able to bring in more talent. Like,
yeah,
I think,
and I feel like he can deliver, which we've seen, not just this game but other games. But as long as he has like the support, I feel like he can definitely deliver.
yeah, I think you know Yazbek definitely needs to take a note. Like, he's kind of become our new Bronico. Uh, but like, look at
You're
the
on the list.
performance like that Gaines and Reyna gave in, and they're like not
Yeah,
DPs, and it's like, dude, you got to be stepping up. Like, this is the level. And he's like,
yeah,
he's not that young either. He's like 24, so it's like not even a youth thing. Like, you've got, I think Gaines is also 24. Reyna's obviously 28, but you got like Vargas who's 20 stepping up. Like Santos is 23, Melanda's 20. Like, you've got a ton of. I mean, Ben Bender, for goodness sakes, is like 15.
I know.
Like, you got all these young guys stepping up. So like, I just feel like the age thing can't be an excuse. And like, listen,
Yeah.
I know you probably didn't ask for this title of like DP, but you got to step up. We need more out of you.
Yep. Yeah. And
So,
then not too long after that, they call the game,
were you? Because I think they
and we're
got a
back in
corner kick right at
playoffs.
the end. Were you worried at all?
Oh, well, actually, yeah. Like right after that game, there was a couple of corners that were given, one or two, maybe even three, to Chicago,
Yeah.
and nothing developed. And there was that one very last shot, and the guy just shot it way over. And I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. He had. Oh, it was a free kick, right? Or am I thinking? I think I might be
Um,
thinking of a different game.
no, I think he just kind of maybe had it open.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But I remember when they got the corner kicks late, I was like, oh my god, we always get scored on by corner
Yeah,
kicks. I
I think it
swear.
was like from the like a loose ball from the last corner Chicago had, and it was the guy on the top of the box towards the right side, and he like shoots it. I just remember it going way over, and I was like, thank goodness.
Yeah. I was like, dude, we could,
Yeah, and then
we could
Kalina had
definitely.
the goal kick.
And then
Yeah,
game. Yeah. That's right. Um, yeah. I mean, gosh, that was a heck of an experience. That's all I have to say.
yeah,
Um, we got a big game this coming up weekend. Philadelphia at
yeah.
home. How are you foreseeing the game play out? Because
Look, if we
Philly
can
is
keep
looking
it,
scary.
oh, I know. I think Philly's tied up right now for the supporter shield with LAFC. I mean, they got a strong record.
I think they've
Um,
won like 6 of their last 7 or something. Like, they are on a tear.
yeah, yeah, and I think this just because they want to make like a supporter shield run. Um, I don't think they're gonna be like New York where they send out their B squad because they're already in playoffs. I think they're trying to like uh, definitely secure that supporter shield, um, and they're gonna try to just beat us badly. I'm hoping that it's just like if we tie, that's a win for me against Philly.
Yeah, I think a tie
And if
though
we
like
win, that's a
kills
win-win.
playoffs.
Are you sure? We still got like two other games though. If we, I thought you did the math. I'm just guessing here.
Yeah, the thing that sucks is like Atlanta and New England play each other next, and kind of like whichever way the results go, it doesn't work in our favor. Like, the best
Oh,
case
now I gotta
scenario
check
in
your
that
math.
game is a tie. We obviously need Columbus to lose. I'm not sure who they're playing. Cincinnati losing would be nice, but like a win Saturday brings us
Yeah,
to
we need the
40.
win.
Yeah, because that only brings us to 41 points, which is I still think 1 point out of seventh.
Somehow Miami is in playoffs
I
now.
know,
There's
dude.
what?
I saw that. I
Where
was
did
like, no way. How?
where did
Yeah,
Beckham pay?
they just, man, they turned up when it mattered at the end of
Yeah, you're right.
um yeah, so I just think there's like some tough matchups that we need to go our way. Like, yeah, a win is a must for against Philly.
Oh,
um
that's tough.
I know, but at least it's at home, right? Like, got that going for us, and the team is looking good. Like, they're on a high. Hopefully they carry it over.
Mm-hmm.
um
Yeah, yeah,
the
we
other
could
good thing
surprise them.
is we play Columbus as well in 2 weeks, I think, or October 5th, I think,
I
is that
think you're
game.
right.
So
Yeah, I think you.
that'll be a big game because that's basically a 6 point game, because it'll give us 3 points, and if we beat them, and them zero, like, and they're kind of the team we're fighting against alongside Miami, like, so that could be a big like leapfrog moment for us. So that'll be a big game, and then Red Bulls away. that's going to be a tough game. Like that's going to be a physical tough game.
Yeah, they already don't like us.
Yeah. So we'll see. Obviously, thankfully our home or our away form is looking a lot better lately than it was at the beginning of the season. So I have some faith. If we can beat New York FC away, I don't see why we can't beat the Red Bulls away. We've done it once, we can do it again.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think out of the three matches we have coming up, Philly is the one that gives me the most nerves.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping we win, but that one could be the one that puts the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. I mean,
But hey, we've this team has definitely surprised us in the past. They can do it again.
absolutely. Even if we tie that game and then win the other two, that puts us 45 points, I believe. 39
We just
and
gotta
then
hope the other
6.
guys
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah, and then we'll just need we'll just need uh Miami and Columbus to not get more than 3 points over the next 3 games.
I'm not
Which
even gonna try to do any more math on that. It's just let the chips fall where they may. I think Charlotte has done an excellent job so far this season for the first year,
I agree. I
and
agree.
just keeping things interesting and you
Being in
know,
the fight, like being relevant,
yeah, yep,
making
yep,
it worth watching all season long. Like at least we're not DC.
yeah. I mean, at least they're not playing like the Panthers are.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah, that's very true.
crap show that is.
Yeah. They should probably fire
Yeah,
that coach, right?
they better. I think that's gonna happen.
Seems that
Probably
way.
mid-season.
Yeah.
Um, they better not do another one of those NFL MLS field paint-ins again for this next home game.
Yeah. I agree. It did look pretty bad. But yeah, I think if we do tie against Philly, I think there is still playoff chances now that I'm looking at it again. As long as Inter Miami and Columbus don't win any more of their games.
Well, look, you're the math guy. So if you're saying there's a chance if we only tie Philly, then if we tie Philly, that's a win for me. And the Philly's also going to be different, playing a very different Charlotte team when they played before.
Yeah, I
Where,
agree.
we met them on the road, and we're still fairly new, figuring stuff out. Now we got the squad ready. We got the home field advantage. And then we got something to fight for.
Yeah. As long as we don't get scored on in the first 90 seconds of each half, that'll be a big improvement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that was a depressing game to watch all those months ago.
Yeah, it was boring. Because
Yeah.
Philly knew it. They just had to sit on it, and that was it.
Yeah. Um,
We don't
any
even practice.
Yeah, so we need Miami to lose against Toronto, Orlando, and Montreal, which I think could happen. Those are 3 tough teams
All right.
to play. And then let's look at Columbus's schedule real quick. This is terrible radio because we're just quiet.
Quiet.
They play Red Bulls, us, and Orlando. That could also be
Sweet.
very interesting. Like, we have to beat them on the 5th. That would put us to, I think, 42 points to tie them if they lose the next 2 games. But if they lose to the Red Bulls and lose to us, and we tie Philly and beat them, we'll be tied at 42. And then we would need them to lose to Orlando and us to beat Red Bulls.
Dude. You lost me.
It's gonna be tough, but there is possibilities out there. There's the multiverse is hopefully on our side. That's all I can say. hopefully
Yeah.
Thanos doesn't grab all the Infinity Stones and snap away the playoffs.
Well, in
And,
5 years we could try again.
yeah, assemble. Any
Yeah.
any closing notes or anything?
Uh, no, I got. Let's see, we got one shout out and
Nice.
a YouTube comment.
Nice. And
Let's
before we
see.
get to those, let's remind everyone we are doing a giveaway for how many of the bobbleheads are we doing?
We got 3 bobbleheads we're giving away.
Yeah. So we're gonna have 3 winners. We're gonna I don't remember if we said this on the last episode, but we're gonna run the contest until the end of the season. So the episode where we cover the last game of the season will announce the winners, and it's pretty simple to enter. What we're gonna do is, we post all our episodes on YouTube. If you subscribe and comment on any of the episode videos that we post from last episode up until the last episode of the season, that's an entry to win. We'll make a post on Instagram to remind everyone, if you follow us on Instagram and leave a comment and tag 2 friends, that'll be an entry. And then we'll do the same thing on Twitter. And if you follow us on Twitter and leave a comment, that'll be an entry. And then lastly, if you review us on Apple Podcasts, that will also be an entry to win. So lots of ways to enter, and you're going to get 3 chances to win. So go out there and start entering.
Yep. Or just ask me for if I'm Venmo, and that's a definite win.
Yeah, Pablo's easily what's it called? Uh bot. Bribe, that's the word I'm looking for. But anyways, let's get into the shout outs. Who do we got?
All right, so we got one shout out going to Andrea Perujo. I think that's how you say it in Spanish, but we'll just go English. Perujo? I'm not sure.
Is there a
She was
question mark at
commenting.
the end of her name?
There's not, but there's a question mark when I say it.
I'm Ron
You
Burgundy.
should try. Who's messing
Uh,
with the teleprompter?
yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
she was commented on the last episode in regards to when we spoke about the booze. And that's another thing I thought about too when I heard the Charlotte fans at the Chicago game. I was like, is somebody messing with their audio system?
Yeah, we got some loud
Because
fans.
yeah, that was awesome. I love it.
Oh, yeah, same.
But she said those boos were definitely not from the last speaker. She said every single person in that stadium was upset, and I saw and heard them booing. Great podcast. Finger crossed. Bobblehead.
Love it. Well, so far your odds are pretty good.
Yes.
You might win
And
all
then
3.
we got this other one here, a little 5-star review on the Apple Podcast. It says, fun podcast to listen to. Said, you guys always make me laugh. Let's go Charlotte FC. She's got a little blue heart and a little black heart. Oh,
Hey, let's go.
support up. Is that for the police support or Charlotte? Not
Or
sure.
Panthers.
Or Panthers. It's weird how those colors kind of run.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out. And that's all I
Awesome.
got.
Perfect. That's all I got too then, because you're in charge of that. Awesome. Well, if you guys want to interact with us more, again, feel free to follow us on our socials at offsides_CLTFC. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Hasta mañana.